The Holiday Ambush, rewritten version. The snow was still melting off my coat when I stepped inside. My suitcase wheels traced faint wet lines across the wooden floor. I expected silence, maybe the distant hum of the TV playing cartoons. Instead, I heard voices. Calm, deliberate, rehearsed. And then I saw them. Her boss. Our lawyers. My parents. Her parents. And her, standing in the middle of it all, like a hostess at a funeral she'd planned herself. "Oh, Jake," she said with that strained, artificial smile. "You're just in time to sign." Wrong smile. Wrong tone. Wrong everything. My daughter was hiding behind her grandmother's leg, eyes red from crying. The room went still the moment they realized I was early. No one had expected that. Their first mistake. On the table lay a neat stack of papers, divorce filings, custody agreements, asset divisions. Everything ready, drawn up in secret. A holiday ambush. She called it clean and mutual. Said it was for the best. She thought I'd break. But what she didn't know was that I already had. Months ago. I didn't argue. Didn't shout. I signed, calm, steady, almost cheerful. The act was flawless. They mistook composure for surrender. 1 minute later, her boss's phone rang. He answered casually, until his voice faltered. His expression froze mid-sentence. Then he looked at me like I had crawled out of my own grave. Good. He understood first. We'd been married 9 years, together 11. Once upon a time, we had rhythm, quiet dinners, weekend drives, inside jokes over burnt pancakes, and terrible rom-coms. She used to leave little notes in my lunch. I'd send her photos of sunsets or silly memes that reminded me of her. And then it started fading. Not suddenly, betrayal never shouts. It whispers. A new perfume I didn't buy. A work trip that didn't appear on her office calendar. Laughter that no longer reached me. Eyes that drifted past me like I was invisible. When I asked if she was okay, she smiled and said I was imagining things. I wasn't. The truth arrived at 3 a.m., glowing on her smartwatch. I wasn't snooping. I was just silencing the alarm. A message flashed, "He's asleep. Call me." A name I recognized. Her boss. I sat there in the dark for 20 minutes, staring at her sleeping face. Something inside me didn't shatter. It solidified. The next morning, I kissed her forehead like nothing had changed. Then I left for work. But I didn't go to work. For the next 2 months, I planned. Quietly. Surgically. I learned more in those weeks than in a decade of marriage. Her boss was married too, 2 kids. A scandal like theirs would destroy him. The company's HR policy made affairs an instant termination. The board would burn him alive. I gathered everything, messages, call logs, receipts, even GPS traces. I spoke with a digital forensics expert. I set up a second phone. I changed nothing in my behavior, not even how I stirred my coffee. Emotion is loud. Strategy is silent. Then I found a lawyer she didn't know about. We protected everything she thought she could take. Assets moved, titles shifted, trusts established in our daughter's name. Custody drafted in my favor. My lawyer asked me one question. "What do you really want, Jake?" "Peace," I said. "But peace," I added, "sometimes needs fire." Her boss's wife was the spark. I met her quietly. She didn't cry or scream. She handed me an envelope. Photos. Logs. Evidence. She had known even longer than I had. We became allies. 2 betrayed souls united by purpose. Together, we built a clockwork of consequences. The HR report. The ethics complaint. The board meeting leak. The simultaneous divorce filings. Every piece timed perfectly. To the exact hour I would walk into my home for the holidays. She thought she was trapping me. She didn't know I was the one holding the detonator. Back in the living room, her boss lowered his phone, face pale. "What did you do?" he whispered. His hands shook, panic spreading. Her eyes darted to him. "What's happening?" He didn't reply. He couldn't. Then her phone started ringing. Once. Twice. Again. She declined every call until her mother murmured her name, trembling. My mother picked up our daughter and stepped aside. I stayed silent. Let the silence do the damage. Her boss finally spoke. The board knows. HR knows, and the ethics committee. Then he looked at me. You did this. I met his eyes. I did what I had to. For words. Enough to drain the blood from her face. Notifications started lighting up every lawyer's phone around us. Careers collapsing in real time. She turned to me, desperate. Jake, we can fix this. Please, we can. There hasn't been a we in a long time, I said quietly. You signed the papers, she snapped. That was just acknowledgement, I replied. Her lawyer cleared his throat. There's an issue. These terms are void. The assets your husband was listed as owning, he doesn't own them anymore. Her voice cracked. What do you mean? The house, it's ours. It was, I said. Now it belongs to our daughter. More phones buzzed. More faces drained. Her boss's company had just released a statement. Termination effective immediately. Internal investigation pending. Her boss sat down, defeated. She swayed, pale and shaking. Someone whispered my name. I didn't respond. I walked to the door, suitcase in hand. My daughter ran to me and wrapped her arms around my neck. Are we leaving, Daddy? She asked. Yes, I said, steady and sure. No hesitation. No looking back. Outside, the snow fell softly again. Quiet, indifferent, perfect. Peace isn't handed to you. It's taken. And that night I took mine.